Elon Musk, SpaceX, Starlink's bank accounts were all frozen by the Supreme Court in Brazil. What the heck happened? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today, we have a little bit of fireside. It's gonna be a fiery video today. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today is a technology, space, Elon Musk day. We're gonna be talking about SpaceX, Starlink, and how their bank accounts were frozen, every single one in Brazil, by the Supreme Court. Yeah. This video is going to be a little bit political. And the reason being is this story is political. So bear with me. If you don't like to get into any of that, just stop watching now. It's okay. I understand. I have 1,000+ videos for you to watch. If you don't want to see this one, it's okay. But if you want to hang in there and listen to what has gone on, it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. But what is even more scary is it sounds familiar. And by the end of this video, I think you'll know where I'm coming from when I say that. Now, I know some of you guys are going to be like, why does it take so long for this guy to get to the point? Well, this is a vlog. It's not CNN. That's number one. Number two, there's a lot of people that are on, let's say, legal meds and illegal meds. And some of the people really need to be on meds that aren't. Maybe like Adderall, for focus. I've seen lately a lot of people just no longer have the focus, right? Just to be able to watch something, to sit and process and think. They just don't. They want stuff handed to them, right? Just, I want you to curate it for me. I want you to massage it for me. I want you to distill it down into small little segments and little bites that I could consume, and that is it. And I think that is one of the problems that's been going on, is people do not want to decide things for themselves. They want the government, or they want another individual, or they want someone to decide for them. Tell me what I should do. Tell me what I should believe. Tell me. If you tell me that it's misinformation, I'll believe you. You follow? And it's really a sad state of affairs. But I have to make this statement because it pertains to exactly what we're going to be talking about here. What's going on in Brazil. And kind of what is going on here. So before we dive into this article, I just want to say that if you enjoyed the content like I always do, throw it a thumbs up. That would be awesome. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not. If you are, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Click this little button over here, the notification button, so when I go live or when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. If you want more Starlink content, about 320, I think, for you, right around there in the last 43 months, check them out. I'll put a link right here. Don't click on it yet. There's going to be a link right here. Just when you're done watching this video, check it out. All those videos are helpful how-tos, tips, tricks, what to buy, what not to buy, what to do, what not to do, how to do it, and of course the why behind it all. Also, if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks, check them out. They're free. Go to JCristina.com/books just for you being here. JCristina.com/books. And if you want to say thank you for all of my hard work on this channel, right down here, YouTube gave us this button, this little thank you button. If you click on that, you could give $1 or $2 if you like. If not, it's perfectly fine. The video is free anyways, but it's always appreciated. And if not, consider becoming a member of the channel. That would be even better. Now, let's jump right into this video now that, of course, the housekeeping is done. And let's see what this is all about. What the heck is going on with Elon Musk, SpaceX, Starlink in Brazil? Brazil's Supreme Court has frozen bank accounts for Elon Musk Starlink service amid an ongoing dispute with social media platform X. Interesting. The move came after Brazil's top court, which is spearheading efforts to combat fake news and hate speech on social media in the country, blocked SpaceX Starlink's bank accounts on Thursday. That's yesterday. Calling the Brazilian Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes a dictator, Elon Musk raised concerns over the, quote, legal action by the Brazilian Supreme Court. Quote, SpaceX and X are two completely different companies with different shareholders. I own about 40% of SpaceX. So this absolutely illegal action by the dictator, the Supreme Court Justice, improperly punishes other shareholders and people of Brazil. This is what Elon wrote on X. The internet company confirmed the top court action against the bank accounts and said that it had received an order from the judge that prevented the company from conducting financial transactions in Brazil. Quote, this order is based on an unfounded determination that Starlink should be responsible for fines levied unconstitutionally against X. The company also said, or they added, quote, it intends to address the matter legally. Thank God. That is good. The decision to freeze SpaceX's accounts came amid the country's ongoing dispute over X and misinformation and hate speech and even documents that were requested. The Brazil government and Elon Musk are at a loggerhead after the social media giant was fined due to failure of turning over these documents. What these documents are, who knows? But X said, hey, we're not giving them to you. That's it. A local newspaper reported that the fines totaled in excess of $3.6 million US. The Supreme Court said that the time allowed for Musk's popular social media platform to name its legal representative for Brazil would expire on Thursday evening. That's last night. Failure to do so would lead to the company's suspension in the country. That's suspension altogether. So their bank accounts are frozen, they cannot do any type of financial movements of any kind, and their business is 100% suspended. Yeah. So what this is really about is not just the documents that X did not provide the Brazilian government. It's more about the misinformation, hate speech, anything that the government doesn't want in their country that is coming across through X, they want X to censor. They want X to either downplay it by doing some type of shadow banning or just 100% just block it. So these words, these topics, these phrases, this, that, or whatever, we want them blocked from moving anywhere into Brazil. Nothing can go into Brazil having to do with X, Y, and Z. And Elon Musk is like, the reason I spent $44 billion on Twitter is because this was happening in our country. Right? So when I was doing research on this, I was reading some things about what Zuckerberg just said. Zuckerberg! Is he coming around? What the hell's wrong with this guy? He's flip-flopping? I don't know. Just a couple of days ago, I was reading about what Zuckerberg wrote in this letter. He said he revealed basically this. He revealed through court documents or public records details on how the Biden administration exerted pressure on Facebook to suppress or limit the spread of virus and vaccine information, which he argued infringed on free speech. He wasn't arguing about that in 2020 or 2022. The letter indicated that the administration was involved in directing social media platforms to target specific content and accounts that were deemed to spread misinformation about the pandemic. I'm telling you, it's like an epiphany. All of a sudden, like it's all coming out there. What we already knew, anyone that could actually put 2 and 2 together and it doesn't equal 5 or 3, they knew this. Even though it wasn't definitive, even though it wasn't like now Zuckerberg actually producing, as they call it, court documents and public records showing that this actually happened, the government actually did this, we knew it. Or let's say the non-lemmings knew it. The people that were able to be discerning, people that were able to have common sense, I know it's not common anymore, have some common sense, use the wetware between the ears, right? And do some thinking, some analysis, some thought, and come up with their own decisions instead of following like lemmings what everyone says. That's the one thing that I've always done on this channel. I read everything, and then I decide, and I tell you my opinion. That's what this is, right? This is commentary. But I read everything. I'm not sheltered and I only go one path or the other path or this path. No, I read it all. And then I make a determination and then I tell you what my thoughts are. And I want you to do the same for me. Down below in the comments, what do you think? I did some more research, and what's really interesting is when I was researching this, I'm going to tell you why it's interesting in just a second. I looked up what Zuckerberg testified back in, what was it, 2022 or something? He had to testify in front of Congress, right? He said this: the government demanded compliance with content moderation. The government forced the removal or limited access to certain content on Facebook and Instagram that was deemed as misinformation. Government pressure led to adjustments in Facebook and Instagram's policies and practices to meet legal requirements and regulatory expectations. He also said that we were shadow banning. We were making things lesser. We were saying this stuff was going up, it would rise like cream, and this stuff would go down, so you wouldn't see it as much. Okay, that's what we did, Instagram and Facebook. But Twitter, they were really bad. They were banning things altogether. If you spoke about a topic, it's gone. You're gone, or the topic's gone, or the tweet is gone, whatever, it's gone. Zuckerberg is like, mea culpa, guys, mea culpa. This is really what happened. But what's funny, guys, is when I was researching this, a lot of this information on like what Zuckerberg said back in 2022, I couldn't find it on Google very well. I'm like, why is it not coming up? Only like positive things were coming up, but none of the negative stuff like what he revealed. And the same thing holds true with what happened yesterday or day before or whatever, when he put out this letter. It's a damning letter, right? It's not like something that should just be taken lightly. He's explaining how the manipulation was happening and how it's still happening. And this manipulation is exactly what's going on in Brazil. So when you look at Brazil and you're like, oh, that's like a third world country or something, or I don't know, it's like a banana republic over there, a dictatorship. We had the same exact going on here. Just when the assassination attempt happened, right, the other day, right, a few weeks ago on the former president, when people were doing lookups, like looking to see like what ended up happening, they look up the assassination attempt of Ronald Reagan, President Reagan. What is the meaning of? What is Gerald Ford? The assassination attempt of Gerald Ford. Really? 2 days after it happened, a day after it happened, the same day, that's what you're going to come up with Google? There was someone that did a search for the assassination attempt of Donald. The next word that it autofilled with was duck. Do you have a feeling that there's something going on? I mean, because if you don't, I mean, I'm okay with it, right? Because whatever you're on, I need to be on. Because that's a good place to be at. All right, that's really a good place. And I see a lot of people there. They're on some crazy ass stuff, legal and non-legal. I'm telling you, they just wandering around like in a la la land. They're not putting two and two together at all. They're like, I don't know. I found all of the information that I was looking for through DuckDuckGo, which is like let's say an unbiased browser. They just give you everything and then you decide, right? Whereas with Google and a lot of other browsers, Bing or whatever you're going to use, they're very curated. They look at what you normally search for. They look at what you buy, what you do, who you are, who you speak to, what your comments are, what your ideology is. Because trust me, they know. And then they will curate the results for you. And they will then also block, downplay stuff that they need to according to what the government requests or in their ideology also. It's a problem. It's a big problem. And what really is interesting about all this is when Elon Musk, going back to the Brazil thing and what I think Elon Musk is going to do here, when he bought for $44 billion, $44 billion for Twitter, it wasn't worth $44 billion, but he bought it for $44 billion. He took it apart, right? And he gave the code out to everyone. He made the code, the algorithm, all of the code publicly available. So if you're a programmer, you can get in there down and dirty and you can see exactly what was going on. And it was, once again, damning the stuff that Twitter was doing. It was literally like a banana republic. Exactly what was going on or currently going on in Brazil. Only what they wanted you to see or know, that's what would come out. And then they would rise things up like cream, the stuff that was the narrative. Anything that wasn't a narrative, they would then suppress. It was plain as day. The 5 things that popped up, all right, when we did this search was political bias, shadow banning, Russiagate, the narrative, Hunter Biden's laptop, and the COVID-19 misinformation. Those are the 5 things that they were really concentrating on when Zuckerberg was talking about how Twitter was actually like banning stuff, black holing stuff, not even just shadow banning. A perfect example is, remember when there was like a whole bunch of doctors over here and doctors over here, and the doctors over here said, listen, if you take that shot, right, the chances of you getting this myocarditis, right, this inflammation or a blood clot is really high. And then these doctors said, these doctors are absolutely insane, but we know that that is absolutely not the case. So what did Twitter do and all the rest of them? They raised up this information so it's everywhere. And this information from these doctors that said that you're going to have a problem, or you could possibly have a problem, they once again suppressed it. Now, today, it is a fact, and all of the medical community knows that it is a problem. Blood clots and the myocarditis, all this is an absolute fact. It's not fiction. It's not conspiracy. It's fact. The same thing holds true with the meds that can possibly make you better. These doctors said that absolutely it's not the case. These people said, yes, why don't you try these out? What was it? Ivermectin was one of them. The other one was that hydrochloroquine or whatever. These doctors over here said, oh no, those are drugs that are to be used for deworming horses. That's not for you to take. That's not going to help you. So what did they do? The narrative came up. These are for horses. You don't take that. This one went down into the crapper, and that's all that we knew, or anyone that was non-discerning, non-thinker knew that this is a horse med that you shouldn't take. Once again, shaping the narrative. The exact same thing that Brazil is doing right now. They want to shape the narrative that what goes on, what is said and not said in their country, like Russia would do, Cuba would do, communist countries would do. The same thing that's holding true with Brazil. They are trying to shape that narrative. They're trying to now, once again, prevent certain things to be spoken about. They want to censor free speech. So my question to you is, do you think that Elon Musk will just go into the night? Or will he actually fight? My personal opinion is, if this guy's going to spend $44 billion to make a point and to show that he wasn't crazy, that they were actually doing this shit, he's going to fight. He's going to bring on the absolute nastiest, the best of the best international attorneys there are, and he's going to fight the Supreme Court over there in Brazil. Win, lose, draw. I guarantee it, because that's who he is, right? And for the people of Brazil, I hope that he wins, because they're the ones that are being disenfranchised by what the government is doing, the same way we were during all of this time. And it's not like it's getting very much better. It's still happening. You just have to look. Open your eyes. The problem is people don't open their eyes anymore. They want to, once again, put on those blinders, take their meds, legal or not legal, and just sit in the stupor and just have someone, once again, curate the information for them, decide for them. Don't allow them to think. This is what people want today. The TikTok mental, the swipe, swipe, swipe mental. Give me as much information you can in 10 seconds, and that is it. I don't want any more. I cannot sit through any more than 10 seconds. Adderall, guys, Adderall. That's what the majority of the people need to be on today, because they no longer can focus. Can you?